Hi, I'm Bob. I'm here today to talk a little bit about the crucial role of SAP's business technology platform and how it helps companies become more resilient, more nimble, more intelligent enterprises. As part of my daily job, I get an opportunity to talk to many of the CIOs of the largest SAP customers in North America. And three common challenges keep coming up. The truth is, CIOs are under increasing pressure every single day. The first thing that comes up is that the backlog continues to grow. The business expects consumer grade applications to support every single piece of their business. The second area is that everything must become much more real time, much more digital. Paper has to go away and everything's got to work well together. And the third area that is really putting CIOs under pressure is that the business itself must become more data driven and processes themselves need to become intelligent. The truth is, the COVID pandemic has added fuel to the fire. Digital transformation has never been faster, and it's changed how we're making decisions. IT is going from being budget based and very stringent in how they're doing to more aggressive and investing in the areas that are going to make an impact for the business. So, is data the new oil? I mean, we've heard this phrase a million times, right? The Economist put it on their cover that it's the world's most valuable resource. But the truth is, enterprise intelligence has been quite elusive. Harvard, in cooperation with a consultancy, created a survey where they asked C-level executives, is your company truly data-driven? And the results are actually going down. In 2017, 37% of executives said that they were data-driven, but by 2019, it had plummeted to 30%. And the truth is, the survey didn't get conducted during COVID, but I can promise you that with all the disruptions we've seen in supply chains, with all the difficulty we've had with employees relocating to their houses instead of working in an office, the challenges have absolutely been overwhelming in the last 2 years. What's incredible is that 98% of the same executives said that it's a top priority of theirs to become more data driven. And almost 70% have invested in creating this new C-level executive office called the Chief Data Officer. What everybody's after comes down to primarily two things. Help us make decisions better with data and help us serve our customers better. Once again, using data. The truth is, harmony matters a lot. There's no greater example of harmony that's been accomplished in corporate America than the world's most valuable company, Apple. Steve Jobs was absolutely obsessed with making it easy to use, easy to engage with, easy to become part of your life, right? And that has resulted in Apple going from where they were just 20 years ago to becoming the most valuable company in the world. No contrast is more stark than when you compare Apple to its closest competitor at that time, Sony. 20 years ago, Sony not only had the content, it had the device that was considered best of breed, it had the network, the channel to deliver all these different things, and they were still beaten by this upstart computer company called Apple, right? If you look at the stock chart, it's even more obvious, right? In the last 20 years, Sony has roughly tripled in size, while Apple has gone from just 10 billion to 2.6 trillion in size. Incredible, right? But I think it's a precursor to what's happening everywhere else in the industry as well. This Tesla doing the same thing to the traditional auto manufacturers, right? This exact same pursuit of harmony and making it all work well together is incredibly important. So the truth is, for decades, all of us in the IT world have been focused on the wrong problem. We've been solving one automation issue at a time by creating a new stack. Here's a small process. We're going to create an application. We're going to support it with this technology. The problem is of course, that's grown, right? The average large enterprise today has roughly 484 applications that are supporting its business. And you might say, oh, well, maybe SaaS is going to save us. Maybe, well, we go to the cloud, right? That's going to change everything. Well, no. If you look at the trend in SaaS, right, as more of those applications on premise get discontinued, the SaaS applications are growing like wildfire as well. So if I go back to my original chart, the CIO that's under pressure, right? All these check engine lights are on. The problem is that I think all these three things are really the symptoms of a bigger underlying problem, and that is complexity. Overwhelming complexity within the IT department is making things very difficult. Complexity is slowing progress. Complexity is creating those departmental silos that are incompatible across to the next department, right? And complexity is absolutely preventing our company and our systems from becoming more intelligent. So, a great question to ask is, all of us are vendors that are trying to help serve our customers. But are most of your vendors truly helping you simplify? And I think if you look at just the chart, for example, in this case, of the vendors that are trying to compete in the data and AI landscape, it's overwhelming. And almost every vendor on this chart is trying to get you to move their data to some other server to create some sort of small analysis. And that doesn't make things simpler, it actually makes things more complex. Even if I narrow this down to the top 25, it is still a very difficult problem to integrate things and make them all work well together. So what is Business Technology Platform in a nutshell? The truth is, most companies that have been around a while are absolutely rigid and complex. We can help. SAP can help because we overcame this problem ourselves in the last 10 years. We took our best practices and our best engineering and we created this unique business technology platform for this main purpose, to simplify systems so that our customers could maximize the value of their IT investments, become more resilient, and innovate and adapt to change like a startup. Complexity is truly the problem. We're spending 80% plus on just keeping the lights on. All this data is moving around. It's incredible incompatibilities. It's really hard to innovate. And if you have a merger, and most successful companies do at some time, the problem more than doubles, right? Because you inherit this other chart from the company that you're acquiring, and then you're trying to create synergies, and it's very difficult, right? Luckily, our missions never change. For 50 years, we have believed that the whole must be greater than the sum of the parts to maximize the value of your systems. The key to get that done is going to be modularity. There's no doubt about it, right? This idea of a monolithic app that serves all constituents is a thing of the past. The future is highly modular, real-time, and cloud first. Modularity's got a crucial role in defeating this complexity problem. This is our point A. We can't erase it. We're starting here unless we're a brand new startup, right? But when I look at this diagram, what I really see in my mind's eye is the insides of a Swiss watch. When all these levers and gears are all tightly intermeshed and working well together, we can report our numbers to Wall Street on time. Unfortunately, we're also scared to change the watch because if something goes wrong, we might not be able to. What we really need is a different model, the model that resembles the watch that's currently on my wrist, right? Have you ever worried if you download a fitness app to your Apple smartwatch that suddenly core timekeeping or core calendar or core messaging is going to stop working? The answer is no, right? Because there's a secure layer. There's APIs that make sure that none of the innovation on the outside affects those core functions. This is the exact same model that we need for our enterprise systems, right? The idea that the core systems are unaffected by the innovation around the edges. BTP is our precision engineer platform for this simplified modular approach, focused on optimizing your business processes. It includes a lot of different components like integration and extension and app development and data fabric. But it's all about creating a modular world and then delivering and creating a world that the components themselves, right, are reusable, so now you can move much quicker. You may have seen this chart before, but basically what this says is that SAP is developing all our new stuff on top of Business Technology Platform. And if you do the same, we'll be able to go into the future in lockstep together without having to do lots and lots of rewrites. Let me dive a little deeper into the Business Technology Platform. It's got four major components: database and data management, analytics, app development, and intelligent technologies. In the first area, we have a lot of different technologies that are all serving the purpose of managing your data well and keeping that information lifecycle going. What's truly important is what we're really trying to accomplish with it, right? We're trying to connect your business imperatives to the data so you can absolutely get better outcomes. In the analytics space, we once again have lots of leading capabilities. In fact, we're the leading vendor in analytics in the world. What we're trying to do here is analyze data across departmental silos so that you get better insights and you can absolutely integrate predictive technologies and planning technologies with that basic BI. In the application and development space, we once again have lots of different technologies, but the goal here is to integrate everything well together and then get a bespoke fit for all the applications that you're purchasing from vendors. And in the last category, we have lots of capabilities around machine learning and AI and chatbots, but the whole idea here is to apply those technologies embedded in your business process, embedded in your applications, so that things run better, operate smarter, right? So ultimately, business technology platform exists for these reasons. This modularity, this integration, this extension. It takes all the multitude of apps that you have in the back office, roughly 480 on-premise applications, over 100 SaaS applications, and hides all that complexity from your associates and your customers. So when we talk about the whole must be greater than the sum of the parts, when you use BTP as your central nervous system, it puts it all together, and you absolutely get that as a result. The benefits of BTP start with defeating complexity. I've talked about that quite a bit. But what's incredibly important as well is making your people's lives better through automation. Everything's got to work well together. We have to get better insights from the data. So we need a single version of the truth that incorporates planning and predictive and analytics. And that analytics works across your silos. And lastly, the number one benefit behind BTP is that we optimize your business process, because a business is truly a sum of its business processes that are running across the corporation. There's also a bonus. The bonus is that if you create things in a modular fashion, you'll be future-proof. As long as you use APIs that are well documented, you'll be able to easily incorporate not only SAP's advances, but other vendors' advances as well. So I'd love to dive into this one concept that I haven't talked about enough, I think, which is how do you get valuable insights across silos, and what does that really mean? The truth is, every application, no matter which application you buy, tends to come with some embedded analytics. So in this case, in my example, I have a manufacturing application, a sales application, and a supply chain application. And if you have the analytics that come with that, right, you might know quite easily how many widgets did we build at what cost, right? If you have your sales data, how many widgets did we sell to whom, at what price? And if you have your transportation data, how long was that widget in transit, and what did that cost? But when you combine the data together across these different departmental silos, the magic truly happens. Suddenly you can answer questions that look more like this. Which widgets and customers contributed the best margin and the worst margin in the Northeast? It changes how you manage the business, right? You want more of those best customers, and you want to figure out what you're going to do with those worst customers. Now, if you incorporate supply chain data, now you can realize and model, what if we offered expedited terms to one of our biggest customers? How would that change our profits, and would it make us gain market share with that customer? And then at a C-suite level, you might want to decide where you're going to apply your capital. So in this case, where would we build our next distribution center, and how would that affect our profitability? So this whole idea about data is the new oil, it doesn't stop there. The data has to be refined. It has to be created into insights, but most importantly, it has to become part of your excellent process. That's the key to unlocking the intelligent enterprise. Our business looks like this, right? A customer wants to make a decision, but then our corporation has to do a lot of different things along the way before the customer receives the goods and hopefully puts a great review out there on the internet, right? So if you think about it, there's decisions that happen along the way. Human beings make decisions, machines make decisions, other human beings make decisions, and if those things are not supported with great data that goes across the departmental silos, you can't have the analytics that you need to make sure that decision is easy to make and the right decision is made every time. So making this all work well together is an incredible key to simplification. We also believe that you should put BTP on top of your favorite infrastructure cloud. The reason for this is that we work on different things. SAP is all focused on how do you help your business run at its best. That means things like optimizing business processes, making better decisions, defeating those departmental silos, and lastly, taking those insights and operationalizing it, making it part of that business process and automating whatever is worth automating. But let's not keep doing the same thing over and over. Let's work on the exceptions, right? On the infrastructure side, they're absolutely helping the IT guys with IT challenges. There's no doubt that it's difficult to optimize your compute or to scale your storage or to add more bandwidth or to even add another data center. All those things are incredibly important as well, right? But when you think about what's the key difference between what SAP is doing and what everybody else is doing, it's all about making the business 3 times to 5 times more productive so we can keep up with that backlog that I've talked about. The best example I have that illustrates this is an analogy. Imagine that your boss walked into your room, your cube today and said, hey, we have this incredibly important customer coming in. It's the city of Seattle. We want to win their architecture project, so we want to impress them. So take this conference table, and I want you to build this huge Lego city that covers the entire table, so they're impressed with how meticulous we are in our designs, right? My question to you is pretty simple. Would you run down to the store and buy Lego city kits that are designed to build skyscrapers, to build firehouses, to build police stations? Or would you go buy a huge bag of Lego blocks themselves? This is really the difference between what SAP is doing and what all the infrastructure players are doing. Sure, you can build any application you want on Amazon Web Services, but you're going to start from a much lower level than you will with SAP. Our city kits are these areas in blue. We have pre-built components and modules that help you with 85-90% of the problems that you see here in the blue area, right? It runs on top of your favorite infrastructure. It's got integration components to integrate not only all your SAP applications, but it'll also integrate through open connectors all the usual suspects in enterprise software. So let's say, for example, you wanted to build a new portal for your suppliers, right? So you would start with our portal technologies, 85-90% done. It's a kit you're configuring more than coding, right? You'd want to connect it to back office systems, so you use our connectivity capabilities. You would want to use single sign-on, so you'd use all our security capabilities because we sure don't want to get hacked, right? You want it to potentially create work within your back office system, so you'd use our workflow components to get that done. You then want to deliver analytics to the supplier. Maybe that's the product for the supplier. When they log on, they can see how their products are doing through your enterprise, right? And then, because your suppliers may come from a lot of different places, you'd want to include translation to their native language is supported, right? You'd assemble all that with Business Application Studio. The key difference, the one word to remember between the SAP and the infrastructure guys that we suggest that you partner with as well, is content. We are delivering content with every single piece of the capabilities that I've talked about. It starts with these microservices, right? But there's more. We have over 2,000 pre-built APIs and integration connectors. We have bots that we're releasing every single month to help make your people's lives better. We are also including dashboards that are pre-built within our analytics cloud, so that way you're starting with an industry-specific analytics spot and then move forward with what you need specifically for your business. And lastly, we also include blueprints. So if you want to send a text to your customers, not a problem, right? We've got a blueprint that's already worked out for that. Here is how you assemble it. That is how you become 3 to 5 times more productive, right? So all this is part of our grand vision. Our grand vision is the intelligent enterprise. BTP is the foundation for the intelligent enterprise. Christian Klein, our CEO, says it incredibly well here, right? We are committed to support every single one of our customers to become an intelligent enterprise. What that really means is we're going to break down your silos. We're going to help you adopt intelligent, dynamic, cross-functional business processes that deliver an optimal experience for your employees and for your customers. Why do you want to become an intelligent enterprise is an incredibly important question. The truth is most companies today have a very clear view of their business, but unfortunately it's in the rear view mirror. We're at a crucial moment in time. That moment in time is where we can start looking at the front windshield. We can have a near real-time business. We can see what's coming. It's a much easier way to drive your car or your business. Once you're there, the next 5 years becomes pretty obvious, right? We're going to automate as many things as possible so that way your folks are working on the exceptions and not on just the daily business. So most companies are only in stage 1. They're just collecting the data, trying to figure out what's happening out in their business. It's far more than the transactions. This is the big data. This is the video. This is the web click stream. It's all that different stuff. You have to combine that with transactional data to understand why it is happening. And that's the stage we're kind of at. But you got to do that incredibly quickly because you want to act as part of the process whenever a problem occurs. If something's stuck in the port of Los Angeles, it would be incredibly important to be able to reach out to your customers and explain to them how you're going to help solve their problems, right? You also have to be proactive through planning and making accurate future predictions. That's how you affect positive outcomes. And of course, the system itself must get smarter over time. This is how you win customers and stakeholders for life. So in summary, BTP is absolutely a crucial piece of an integrated SAP approach. It enables this idea of a real-time, looking out the front of your windshield, forward-facing, data-driven intelligent enterprise. It helps you win the battle versus complexity with this modular model. Our customers that use BTP become more adaptable, more productive, more resilient. And BTP becomes the central nervous system that ensures the whole of your enterprise is greater than the sum of the parts. Your next steps is to reach out to your SAP account executive and ask for a meeting around BTP. I'd also suggest going to our website at sap.com/BTP is absolutely fabulous, where you can see customer stories of how people are using it and even start a free trial. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My name is Bob Sakalas. I'm on the North American Center of Excellence for BTP. Thanks.